I'm Gina Hughes with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, and I'll be talking to you about posture and hand position. First things first, make sure that both of your feet are firmly planted on the floor. Also make sure that you're sitting upright in your chair and not leaning back. That will help support your air. Make sure your shoulders are not too high up, but that they're nice and relaxed. Take your flute and bring it to you. Don't go to your flute. Now I'm going to talk about the angle at which you sit. Because this flute is being held out to the right, you're not symmetrical. And so you want to tilt your body a little bit towards the right. And as you hold your flute out, if there's somebody sitting right next to you in band class, make sure that your flute is in front of them and not behind them. And everybody down the line should follow suit. And then you can sit comfortably close to each other. Also make sure that you avoid holding your flute up with your shoulder. That's a big no-no. Keep that down. Next, I'm going to talk to you about how to firmly hold your flute up to your chin. There are 4 points of contact that are really important to keep firm. The first is putting your lip plate firmly against your chin here. And that's going to be held in place with your left hand. You're going to take the space between your 2 knuckles here and here and firmly press against the flute so that it sits nicely on your chin. Then make sure that your right thumb is supporting the weight of the flute and your pinky is nicely planted on the key. If you're only touching the flute in these 4 places, it should stay in place nicely. Make sure that on your right hand, your pointer finger and your thumb are right on top of each other. So just pinch the flute lightly like this. Okay, so let's talk about hand position. What you want to do is put your hands at your side, just relax. And the way that your hand looks like this, forming kind of like a smushed C, is how you want to put your hand on your flute. So you can see here that my hands are relaxed and my fingers are bent. Same thing with the left hand. Your hands are relaxed at your side, and you bring them to your flute like this. I'm going to show you where you place your fingers on the instrument. We'll start with the left hand with the thumb. Your thumb goes here on the B natural key. Your first finger, which is your pointer finger, sits here on the C key. Take your second finger, your middle finger, skip this key, place it here. Your third finger is your ring finger, place it on the next key, and your fourth finger is your pinky finger that sits on the A flat key. For your right hand, take your first finger or your index finger, place it here is the third key up from the end of the body. Take your second finger, your middle finger, put it on the next key, your third finger, your ring finger on the next key, and your pinky sits on the first key on your foot joint. You will use these other keys later, but for now, just focus on this key. You might notice some differences on my flute that your flute doesn't have, such as this last key here. I have an extra B key that just lets me play an extra note lower on the flute. You may just have 2 keys here. Also, some flutes come with open keyholes. Yours may be covered. It doesn't make much of a difference, so don't worry if you don't have a flute that looks like mine. So these are some tips for posture and hand position. I hope that helps.